Hello, and welcome back to the Lancaster Farming Industrial Hemp Podcast, the podcast about industrial hemp. Hi there, it's me. I am your host, Eric Herlock. On our last episode a couple of weeks ago, I said I was headed down to the beach for a couple days, and then there was the 4th of July holiday. But on the 5th of July, I got saddled up and took a gallop out to Gordonville, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania for Horse Progress Days, a 2-day celebration of all things horsepower. What do horses have to do with hemp? Well, we're going to find out. Today I will be talking to hemp people who were at Horse Progress. Cameron Macintosh, Heidi Kuster, Kelly and Jarrett Burke, and Ruben Reel. And then we're going to take a trip to Pottstown, Pennsylvania, where I will introduce you to hemp farmer Sam Connor. He's got a few dozen acres of fiber hemp in the ground. Up there, he's growing for iHemp Catalyst here in Pennsylvania. So a lot of cool stuff on this show today. First, we're going to have a few words from our sponsors. Today's show is made possible with generous support from IND Hemp in Fort Benton, Montana, where they believe in the goodness of hemp. IND Hemp is a family-owned, mission-driven industrial hemp food, feed, and fiber company providing new opportunities for farmers in Montana and across the U.S. Learn more at indhemp.com. This episode is also brought to you in part by the National Hemp Association. The NHA is a nonprofit based in Washington, D.C. that advocates for sensible public policy and regulation. The NHA is dedicated to building a sustainable future and promoting economic development in rural communities. Become a member today and join a thriving community of people with a passion for all things hemp. Learn more at nationalhempassociation.org. Hello, welcome back. So, here we are. It's the second week of July 2024. Today is actually July 10th. And like I said in the intro, first we're going to talk to hemp people at Horse Progress Days. And then we're going to talk to Sam Connor, hemp farmer up there near Pottstown. All right, so here we go. Testing. Okay, here I am. I'm at Horse Progress Days in Gordonville, Pennsylvania, and I'm not even sure how to describe this event, but there's about 30,000 Amish and Mennonite people gathered here. It's a great big farm with a sea of tents and open fields and plowing demonstrations and lots of horses. So it's pretty neat, but there's also industrial hemp things. I'm standing here right now just outside the Hemp House on Wheels. Remember the Hemp House on Wheels that Cameron Macintosh, Drew Oberholzer, and Anna Konopetskaya built a few years ago? This thing gets around. Well, let's talk to Cameron. He's here now, and we'll get him to describe it for you.
What's up, Eric? How you doing, man?
I'm sweating, but otherwise doing okay.
Yeah, this is pretty impressive what we're seeing here today.
Can you describe what this is?
40,000 or so people come from all over the country to this show, to this event. So it's pretty impressive.
And what are they here for? What do they want to learn about?
Horse progress. No.
What does that mean? The horses have progressed a lot.
I think the basis of the event is demonstration of use of livestock for farming, right? So, this community has been really excellent, I think, at taking what they see in modern agriculture and adapting these ideas and equipment to horsepower, which is really cool. So Ruben Reel, the guy that involved us here, we're here with PA Hemp Industry Council, and then also Americhanvre is sponsoring a few things, but Ruben described it that, the many people from around the world even come to this event to see and to learn how to better utilize their livestock for agriculture in their country. So really cool work. But again, it's a big fair, man. This is a big Amish fair here in Lancaster County, and I don't think a lot of people know about it, but man, there sure are a lot of folks here.
A lot of straw hats.
A lot of straw hats, man. I'm looking for one.
So tell me about the connection with hemp. Like, why did Ruben get the PA Hemp Industry Council involved?
Yeah, so I think we were just having this discussion with some of our booth mates from KIFCure over there that this community does know hemp and it doesn't have a good reputation. And that's because many farmers in this community invested heavily in growing CBD back in 2018 and 19, as we know, and then suffered through the subsequent crash of that market in 2020 and 2021. So when you mention hemp in this community, that's what they think of. It's not the fiber industrial hemp that springs to mind. That's why we're here. That's what we have to change. And that's what Ruben's interested in again, showing this community that the fiber industrial side of the plant has dramatically more promise, more opportunity for their community than CBD ever did. But again, they're attracted as farmers to high dollar value, small acreage crops, right? So you can't blame them for going the way they did. And again, as I was describing to the guys from KIFCure here, when this community decides to do something, they do it, and they do it well. They join together, they share, costs and things, and they get themselves to the finish line. But the problem is that the market they were promised for CBD was not there. So we're here again to show them that we haven't given up on hemp here in PA, that the state is very much in favor of it. We've got the governor now, our Secretary of Agriculture, as everybody knows, very much in support of fiber industrial hemp here in PA. And again, the actual fiber industrial hemp commodity version. And that's what we're describing to people here today. Because again, they do know hemp, and it doesn't have a good reputation.
What kind of questions are you getting from people here in the Hemp House on Wheels?
Haven't taken too many yet because I've been wandering around with you. But I think people are just interested to know how you can use the various parts of the plants for construction. It's just we have an example here in their face. The old trusty Hemp House on Wheels is out here as part of the centerpiece of the PA Hemp Industry Council booth, and there's some good education, real sharp-looking banners and everything now from some of our support from the Department of Agriculture, so we're really happy for that. We've got some of our marketing and educational materials on display here today, some videos, and we'll actually be talking later on a panel discussion with Ruben, Dave Cook from Tuscarora Mills, and Kelly from KIFCure, so that'll be really exciting, man. Are you going to make it?
I'm not going to be here for that.
You're not? You're going to melt?
I have to get back to work.
You'll melt.
I will melt, yeah. Getting back to this thing. So I think longtime listeners of the show will remember hearing about this from a few years ago, but just give me the high-level description of what this is and why you built it and who built it.
Why did I build it? Well, we, as in Drew, Anna, and I, Drew and Anna from Coexist, and myself with Americhanvre, we needed proof of concept early on, and we joined together to execute that proof of concept that materialized here in the form of a hemp house on wheels that was designed by Anna. The goal was to make a mobile demonstration model for the material hempcrete that would demonstrate that it was possible, right? That it was a reality, but that also that it could be very architectural and beautiful. So that's one of the cool things about the hemp house on wheels. It has a striking stance, a striking design, and it does not necessarily look like a naturally built structure, although it is. So that's really important. And I think I was doing the math on the way here. I think we're probably at about 5,000 or so miles on the hemp house on wheels here, which, the first time I drove it, we were invited by Jeff Whaling and Erica Stark to join them at the Cannabis World Congress and Business Expo in New York at the Javits Center. Eric, I think I
was there for that.
I was going to say, I'm not positive that isn't the first time we met. No, it isn't, because you didn't interview with us.
Because I interviewed you guys in this thing before it was finished.
Yep. Hemp ears like dog ears, man. It all blurs together after a while. But anyway, we were invited to be part of a booth with National Hemp Association, Canopy Growth, and their at the time their move into fiber industrial hemp, which is known as the Hemp Industrial Park, which never materialized either. But we drove it through the Holland Tunnel to the Javits Center, and I was as nervous then as I am now when I'm driving it. That's not true. My confidence has increased dramatically, but no, it's got some road miles on it. It's been around. I'd say there's easily 100,000 or more people have walked through this exhibit. between all the various shows we've been to throughout the years. Just earlier this year, it was down on the National Mall again for Ag on the Mall in D.C. That's the second time we've done that. So, even just being on the Mall in D.C., it's probably seeing 100,000 people. So, really excited to be here. Glad to see you here again, man, and really cool to be engaging with this community again.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Cameron.
Cheers, Eric.
Okay, Heidi, could you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Heidi Kuster with Tuscarora Mills.
All right, and we were in Prague together a few weeks ago, and now here we are in Lancaster County. So what are you doing here?
I'm here because Lancaster Amish farmers are starting to grow hemp, and Ruben Reel invited us to come with our fabric, which is made from hemp.
Okay, so tell me about Tuscarora Mills. Give us the high-level view of what you're doing out there.
We are weavers based in Pennsylvania, and we use natural fiber in our fabrics. So that's organic cotton from the United States, and it's hemp and flax long fiber yarn from Europe.
Okay. And I imagine you're trying to source hemp locally and flax locally. How is that effort going?
We are absolutely wanting to source hemp and flax locally, and it's progressing. There's a Pennsylvania Flax Project, and there's Amish farmers, and Steve Groff and Dwayne Sugars growing hemp locally. So excited about that.
So do you think you'll have spinnable fibers from PA within a year or 2 years? Like, what's your time frame?
I'm going to say a year and be optimistic.
Cool. We like optimism on our show, so great.
Yes, optimism, good.
And how's this Horse Progress Days going for you here?
It's amazing. It's so many people here, so many horses.
It's a little overwhelming, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's really super hot, and people are, staying hydrated, and it's amazing. It's I don't know how else to describe it. It's a bit overwhelming.
All right, well, it's good to talk to you, Heidi.
Thank you. Good to talk to you too.
All right, Jarrett, hello. How are you?
Hey, Eric, how you doing?
I'm good. Introduce yourself for us.
Yeah, this is Jarrett Burke here with KIFCure.
All right, so I interviewed your wife, Kelly, on the show, I guess 2 weeks ago or so, and now both of you are here in Lancaster at Horse Progress. So what has brought you here?
We really believe that Lancaster, Pennsylvania is one of the greatest areas of our whole country here. This is Kelly and my first time, but we've had friends, and I've been hearing about Lancaster for years, ever since we got into hemp, and finally made it out and have a booth here, and we're trying to educate as many folks here at the Horse Progress Days as we can.
All right, and you're representing KIFCure, yeah?
Yes, we're representing KIFCure today.
All right, so just remind us what KIFCure is and what you do.
Sure, absolutely. So KIFCure is a total hemp solutions company based out of the Midwest. We're just west of Chicago, about 60 miles, where we've built what we believe to be the first hemp hub of the Midwest, to where we are growing a whole bunch of acres this year with our farmer partners, and it really serves as our aggregation point for a lot of these grower producers in our area to bring the material and then ultimately eventually be processed right on site as we bring on some more partners at the hemp hub.
All right, cool. And how did you end up getting involved with this event here?
Ruben, our friend Ruben, with Lancaster Marketing, he's been promoting hemp in the region here for years. Has some of his own brands and promotes a lot of to the different farmers around the area here, and we've done some things there. So he got us involved. He said, it was coming back here to Lancaster. I guess every year they rotate. So I guess it's one for 7 different spots, and they haven't been here since 2017. So he was, probably 6 months ago, he was saying, you guys gotta come and be a part of this. So
cool. How did you make the connection with him in the first place? Like through the marketing company?
That's a good question. I believe Kelly or one of our sales guys over the years, sourcing or selling material, or they do a lot of white labeling. So do we on that side. Yeah. So I think somewhere along the way in the hemp ventures.
So what sorts of questions are you getting from people here at the booth today?
Well, we've had a number of building people come by and really take a look at the hemp blocks, the concrete made with hemp, and then the hemp lime block. A lot of interest there, and really just we have a lot of the other products such as the hemp straws, and a lot of questions of like the people just had no idea that these things could be made out of hemp. So we give them the story that the hemp lime concrete, or the hempcrete, has been added into the building codes as of this year, and really starts getting their wheels turning. So I think we've educated a lot of people so far. It is, man, there are so many people here and such a good vibe. Everyone's super nice, so we're happy to be here.
Good. All right. Well, good to talk to you, Jared. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
All right. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you today, Eric?
I'm good. I just talked to your husband.
Well, good. Yeah.
So the question I had for him that he wasn't sure about was how you all got connected with Ruben in the first place.
Okay, yeah, I got connected with Ruben. Actually, a friend of mine, Mark, he owns a company called Mr. CBD, and he knows Ruben from the space, and he made the introduction because Ruben was inquiring a lot about industrial hemp, and he said that he knew just the person. Me and Mark actually run a professional networking group for hemp industry professionals locally. I don't know if I mentioned that to you.
No.
But at Emerald Acres, once a month on Tuesdays, we do a networking for hemp industry professionals to sort of get together and talk about industry challenges and just sort of be like a think tank, referral agents to each other, that kind of stuff. So
That's cool. Is that just for folks in Illinois?
It's gotten challenging due to all of the events this summer to keep up with it as a in-person event, and I think we're going to make it, we were talking about making this largely online and do it more as like a webinar type thing. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to kick that off here soon.
All right. Well, keep us in the loop, and we can help you spread the word.
Yeah, similar to like a BNI, or where it's more about referrals and working together than necessarily like advocating. It's more like business
Talking shop
questions. Yeah.
All right. So how's horse progress going for you?
I think this has been such an eye-opening experience. I mean, a little culture shock. Gorgeous area. I'm just astonished, and the fact that it's like largely like a lot of Amish community here in this particular area, how neat and manicured everything is, knowing that they're not utilizing, and I heard that some of them do use herbicides and pesticides and stuff, but that mostly it's more organic or natural, and so I think we have a lot to learn from them, and trying to at least lend an ear a little bit to their ways and see if maybe I can latch on to Ruben and see what he's doing here, because I think there's a lot we can learn to do things in a different way, and we think that you can't really achieve that sort of farm manicuredness without it, but doesn't seem to be the case, or at least maybe the ones all along the road are. I don't know. I'm still inquiring and learning more, but I have a lot to learn because of this.
We've got a lot bigger farms out there in Illinois, right?
Yeah, a lot of big ag, big farms. Most of the farmers are all traditional. Right where I'm at, there's not a big Amish community. There is in Illinois little pockets, but they're more Mennonites, where I know they're more like micro communities rather than the Amish tend to gather in larger groups. So it's been a really cool experience for me.
What sorts of questions are you getting at the booth about hemp?
I think people are really shocked at the amount of the plant that can be utilized, and we've been talking quite a bit about the grow your own house.com that we're about to launch, and so out of the Northern Illinois Hemp Hub, and so them really realizing that they can take the plant, and I'm showing them that about 20 to 30% of it can go into that builder grade spec for the hempcrete, and then this outer portion is like 20% or could be 30% of the plant depending on how thin the stalk is, or more. That could be used for the insulation portion. That just these two bits can really add up to being about half the plant. And so I think they're just really shocked about the animal feed side. We go through that. They're really drawn in by the building construction, but a lot of them have cattle. a lot of them have chickens, and so talking about all of the things that the Hemp Feed Coalition is doing, they're inquiring a lot. I feel like I'm having less time to ask them questions because they're asking so many questions.
Good, that's the point of you being here.
Yeah, and I mean, what an exciting thing to be able to go through our little spiel and say, would you like to see a hemp house? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, right over here behind me, we have the honor of having right here with the finished mobile hemp house, going in there and talking to Cameron and talking about the spray application, and it's just been a really cool
Ruben
experience.
did that, right? Ruben made sure everybody was in the same area.
Yeah, he clustered us all together, and having the fabrics here, being able to say, here's an example of what my husband did in 1999. We don't do the hemp textiles anymore, but right here to my left, you can go ahead and learn all about hemp textiles, and he's really the man to talk about this. And so it's been really neat. I'm just super excited that we were able to come out. I got a chance to see you again, meet your whole team, see this place that I've been hearing so much about.
Cool. Well, welcome to Lancaster.
Yeah, thank you. I'm loving it.
Good. Well, go get something to drink before you melt. So, yeah.
I will. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Eric.
All right, Ruben, could you first introduce yourself?
Ruben Rio, Lancaster County Marketing.
Okay, and a few people that I've interviewed already mentioned your name, that you were the reason why there's a presence of industrial hemp here at Horse Progress. Can you tell me why you thought it was important to have hemp here?
So I had Dill at our business one time, and we're talking about the fiber hemp, and he thought this is perfect for Horse Progress Days.
Who was it?
Dill Stoltzfus, he's the man very much involved with Horse Progress Days, and he was here from the beginning pretty much.
What is it about industrial hemp that you think would resonate with the plain communities of Lancaster?
It fits very well with our community. Like, it's something that's farming, and I think it'll take some time for it to resonate here, but it will.
Okay. Is there any particular part of industrial hemp that you find fascinating?
The whole thing.
All of it. Are you farming any hemp?
No, so I just coordinate it.
Okay. And then can you just give me like a very brief description of the Horse Progress event?
Yeah, so the Horse Progress event this has been planned for a year and a half already. And it's a lot of people working together, and it's worked very well so far.
And how many people do you figure are here today attending it?
So 2017, there was 37,000. We're looking from 37 to 40,000. I hope it caps at 40,000, but...
All right, and then what do people come out here for?
It's mostly like farmers, the equipment. Like, there's a lot of equipment demonstrations, and they're looking at that. It just brings them out, and the seminars are bringing a lot of people too.
Okay. One more question. Thank you. You're very patient with me, and I appreciate it. How many horses are here?
I don't have that list with me, but I have a record of that somewhere in my book.
All right, fair enough.
I think it's close to 60 to 100 probably teams.
Say that again?
It's probably close to 60 to 100 teams.
60 to 100 teams. Okay. All right, Ruben Reel, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Eric.
So that was Horse Progress Days, and as you can imagine, Lancaster Farming newspaper was all over this. We provided a lot of coverage of the event, so you can check out stories and videos and photos at lancasterfarming.com. All right, next we're going to take a trip out to Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Yeah, Pottstown, a great place to live, work, and learn. At least that's what the sign said when you crossed over the Kime Street Bridge back in the day. Anyway, I grew up near Pottstown, so, hey, Pottstown. Let's go talk to Sam Connor. Sam Connor, thanks for having me out to your hemp farm here in Montgomery County, just above Pottstown. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it.
Yeah, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name's Sam Connor. I'm the owner here at Free Flow Farm, LLC. We do industrial fiber hemp, grass-fed and grass-finished beef, and pasture-raised eggs.
Wow, okay. So first tell me sort of the size of the farm.
It's a 37.75 acre parcel. We're kind of like split here on two sides of the road. So there's 11 acres on the side with the house and 26 acres on the side with a lot of the crop fields.
Okay, and you're you're close to Pottstown, but what municipality are you in here?
It's Lower Pottsgrove Township.
Okay. And so we're sitting here on the back porch here of the house, and I can see some fiber hemp there. Tell me what you've got in the ground. All the same variety or a few different things?
We have two different varieties that we planted here. We have a Yuma variety, which is a Chinese variety, as well as Futura 83, which is a French variety.
All right. And I'm guessing you've got the hemp catalyst hat on. Are you tied in with Steve Groff and Dwayne Sugars and everybody?
Yes, we are part of the iHemp Catalyst team. We're growing for them. They provided us with seed. So we planted about 23.5 to 24 acres here on the farm. And a 3-acre parcel is the Yuma, and the rest of it is all the Futura 83.
All right. And so, they say that hemp sometimes is a gateway crop. Is this your first foray into farming?
Yes, this is our first time. We grew a little bit last year, but this is really our first time. We closed on this farm in April of 2023, so this is our first go having a full crop year to really have our first full farming operation.
All right. So what made you think I want to be a farmer? I'm curious about that.
So my father, Michael Connor, actually got into farming when I was in grade school. He kind of rescued a couple horses and rented a farm, and that kind of started our foray into farming. Then from there, we started growing different hay varieties just to kind of feed our horses. And from there, he got into grass-fed and grass-finished beef and kind of into the eggs a little bit. So I was experienced that whole side and kind of worked with him doing some of the farming with the hay and learning about the beef and stuff like that. And then this farm became available, and me and a buddy of mine, Johnny Bildstein, decided to go in on it together, and we closed on it about a year ago, and we've been kind of doing the beef operation here and the chickens, and then just here in April is when we planted the hemp, end of April, early May.
All right, so this isn't your first farming experience, so I get it. All right.
Yeah, I definitely had some experience through my father being involved in the farming operation, but this is our first time kind of where I'm actually an owner and kind of going out on my own and trying to do it myself. We're definitely a team. His farm, Sarah's Way Farm, and my farm, Free Flow Farm, we kind of work together, and I share his equipment and stuff like that. So we're kind of like a co-op operation. It's a cool dynamic to be kind of farming with your dad sometimes, and yeah.
All right, so how did you get interested in industrial hemp anyway? How did you get connected with the iHemp Catalyst?
So I actually was a hemp sampling agent for the state of Pennsylvania a couple years ago. I signed up, just kind of, my dad sent me an email about how they were accepting applications for sampling agents, and I signed up, and through going out to a lot of different Amish farms and different farmers who grew a lot in 2020 and 2021, I learned a lot about their different struggles and things they went through growing both CBD hemp and industrial fiber, and that was kind of my first introduction. And then once I got introduced to Steve Groff through my dad and the iHemp Catalyst guys, Dwayne Sugars, I kind of decided to go into it myself and try out growing industrial fiber hemp on our own. And I'm just passionate about the crop and the different aspects that industrial fiber hemp can kind of bring to the marketplace to replace certain biodegradable hemp plastics and hemp concrete and some of those different avenues that hemp can kind of change different industries as we progress.
That's cool, yeah. So this hemp here, do you imagine what it might be once it's harvested and processed?
So we're going to end up harvesting it and delivering it to the processing facility with iHemp Catalyst. And from there, they're going to process some of the fiber and some of the hurd, and I believe some of it's going to be used for biodegradable hemp plastics, some of it's going to be used for hempcrete, and I think there's even possibly something to do with some maybe textile, like ceiling tiles and things like that. There's a lot of different companies that they're working with. I know that Wisconsin Battery, who's an EV company, they have a strategic partnership with iHemp Catalyst where they're going to be, I think, infusing different parts of the industrial fiber hemp to encase the batteries, because the EV batteries have had some issues with being spontaneously combusting and flammable problems. So they're going to encase them in fiber hemp because hemp is fire retardant, and it'll be a way to make them kind of safer to the public. So those are just kind of some of the things that it would be used for.
Right. That's interesting. It gives me pause there because I don't think hemp is fire resistant. It's the lime in hempcrete that makes hempcrete fire resistant, but I'm pretty sure hemp will burn.
Oh, will it? Okay. I know that the iHemp Catalyst people have told me some different things, that it's fire retardant, but
All right, I guess we need to fact check that.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, that's fine. It's what we do this show for, so we can learn stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we're going to take a walk in a little bit, but tell me first about how your planting experience was.
It went really well. So we disced up the ground. We spread manure over the fields, and then we disced it in, and then we used a no-till drill to plant the seed in. And from there, it just kind of came up on its own. As long as the hemp can kind of get the first couple-week jump over the weeds, it can crowd everything out and just kind of take over. We didn't have to spray or do any weed control because we're transitioning to organic on this farm, so we can't spray or use any pesticides or chemicals. So.
All right. Do you have plans to put in like a no-till operation?
What do you...
Like, are you going to plant cover crops?
Oh, yes. So after we harvest this crop, we'll probably plant some cover crop varieties on the fields just to re-enrich the nutrients of the soil. Yes, I don't know which cover crop blend I'm going to use yet, but definitely.
But you know somebody who can help you out with that.
Definitely. That's kind of where I would reach out to my father. Yep, absolutely.
Oh, I meant Steve Groff because he's the cover crop coach, but yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. My dad always calls Steve for those questions. So, yeah, between the two of them, I have a good team of cover crop coaches. Yep, absolutely.
Cool. And then tell me a little bit about the beef operation. You said you have a small herd of what, Angus?
They're shorthorn. My partner Johnny Bildstein knows exactly what type of cow they are.
All right, we'll leave the cows out of this.
Yeah. I know that there's 7 pregnant moms here with 1 bull, and we've had 4 babies so far, and we have 3 more to go. And then we sell direct to consumer off the farm. So I have a website, I have some signs up here with like QR codes, and people can put orders in right off the website and pick up off the farm. So that's kind of the way we've been selling.
Cool, awesome. All right, so you planted this. You said what, mid-May? We're back to hemp. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so the fields here on the house side, they were planted the last week of April. I believe it was April 24th and April 25th. We got those in the ground, and then the fields on the other side of the street there, those were planted. I think like 27th, 28th, 29th. Maybe the last field, May 2nd was like the last day we planted, and then we have another 16-acre field down the road that we have a lease on that we got planted. I think that one was May 3rd.
Okay. It's not like super residential around here, but have you heard from any of your neighbors? Are you getting any weird looks from people?
I haven't gotten any complaints. Some of the neighbors that I grew last year when we just like did some test plots and just did smaller size, they kind of just asked me what I was growing, and I explained it to them and just, explained what industrial fiber hemp was, the difference between that and regular marijuana because, they smell the same, the leaves kind of look the same, people don't always know, and just educated them a little on what we were doing and what the crop was going to be used for, and everybody's been really open and accepting to it so far, so it's been interesting to see. Yep.
Yeah, cool. How has it been working with the Department of Agriculture, like on the permits and all that stuff?
It's been good. So actually, Sarah's Way Farm, my father's farm, has the permits to grow on this land, and then Free Flow Farm leases Sarah's Way Farm the land to grow. So I haven't actually gotten the hemp permits myself because I was still a sampling agent as of last year when they applied for permits, so I didn't want to cause any conflict of interest there. I'm not a sampling agent this year, so I wanted to not be, have any conflict of interest there.
All right. Is that going to be complicated for you if we publish this and you're not the permit holder, but you're still growing it?
Yeah, because they have the permits to grow on the land. So like technically they're the permit holder and I'm just the owner of the property.
Okay. All right, cool. So when are you going to harvest this?
We probably harvest late September, early October, depending on how the crop looks.
Okay.
We got it in the ground a lot earlier than last year.
Yeah, so you're going to go for like as much like height as possible, or what's the plan there?
Well, you would like to get as much height as possible, as well as we're collecting carbon credits on the crop as well. So the longer that it's standing, the more carbon it can sequester from the atmosphere. We actually sequestered 102 carbon tons last year, and that was only on about like 20 to 25 acres of industrial fiber hemp. So we've grown more this year.
Wow. So tell me about that process. Who are you working with? Are you making money from the carbon credits?
Yes, we've only gotten paid for a small portion of them so far, but we're working with this company called Hemp Carbon Standard that actually just got bought out by Hemp Alta, and they're a publicly traded company out of Canada. They're a Canadian-based company. So I actually just had an introduction call last week for the first time with my new representative who's going to be working with us on the Hemp Alta side, because I was previously working with the Hemp Carbon Standard company, and they kind of just went over the contract and everything with us, and it went over the process of collecting the credits. So we're hoping to maybe sequester like between 2 to 250 carbon tons next year, based off the amount that we grew this year. So.
All right. So, and how does that translate to a paycheck?
So it trades off of the carbon market. So carbon trades just like a commodity, like on the exchange market. So based off the price of carbon is what they can sell the credits at. So right now, it's between like $35 to $40 per ton is what we get paid for after they take, I think, about like a 10% commission fee. But that could go up or down. The carbon market could be, say, $20 next year, or it could be $80 or $60. It really just depends on the supply and demand aspect of carbon credits. So we'll have to just see how that market plays out. But it's just it's an interesting way to try and make some extra money on the crop, because you're already working with a company who you're growing it for, who's going to pay you for it. So if the farmer can collect any extra off the top on the crop while doing some good at the same time with the environment, it's kind of a win-win for the farmer. So I thought it was worthwhile to sign up and see how it goes, basically.
Yeah, cool. I want to talk to you about that next year and see how it goes, because that's interesting. Yeah. How about this heat? Has this heat been giving your crop any trouble?
I definitely noticed a couple weeks ago when we hadn't gotten rain for that long stretch and we were having those 100-degree high 90 days. The leaves were looking a little droopy and the crop didn't look all that happy. But once we got that inch and a half of rain about a week ago, it seemed to kind of perk back up and everything seems to be okay. So I've read how hemp is a very drought-resistant crop, so it's nice to see it kind of standing the test to that this year, because it's been a challenging year for, I'm sure, a lot of farmers with the rain situation we've been having.
Yeah, right. Well, let's go take a look.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so then we walked around the fields a little bit. I saw some hemp. Some of it's coming into flower now. I saw, the formation of buds, but it all looked pretty good. Some of it was, taller than me. The fields were, hilly, so it was hard to tell, if there was a uniform height of the crop, but, it looked good. To me, anytime I look at a farm field and I don't see corn and soy, I get like this little warm glow of happiness inside. So there was a lot of that. All right, Sam, we're back here on the porch. Thanks for taking me on the walk around the farm.
Yeah, glad you got to check out the hemp fields.
Yeah, so all right, so you're gonna grow this until September, October, cut it down with the sickle bar. You're gonna red it at all before you bale it?
Yeah, we'll ted it, or rake it up into rows, and then we'll let it ret in the field for a little bit, and then probably bale it up. So we might harvest some green fiber, which is not letting it ret, like as soon as it's cut, but we're not positive if we're doing that yet. We're waiting to see if we're going to have the machine to do that method. So.
All right. Now I forget if I asked you this in the first part of the intro, but why is hemp important to you?
I've always been kind of passionate about the crop and like the industry as a whole, the CBD market, THC market, and the industrial fiber hemp market, because I just think as a whole it all has benefits that can trickle into a lot of different industries. THC, CBD on the medical side, as industrial fiber hemp for all the different industries that it can kind of improve with being less wasteful and more environmentally friendly. So I just think as a whole, if we could invest the money into the industry to gain more knowledge on it, the same way we do with a lot of other industries, it could benefit a lot of people.
Amen to that. All right, well, hey, thanks for having me out.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Anytime. Hopefully we can do one of these again soon.
All right, there you go. That's Sam Connor at Free Flow Farm in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. All right, so that does it for our show today. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed our trip out to Horse Progress and then to Pottstown. So if you've got any questions or comments about what you heard today, or just questions in general, you want to send me an email, you can do that. Send it to podcast@lancasterfarming.com. My name is Eric Herlock. I am the senior digital editor at Lancaster Farming Newspaper, the greatest agricultural newspaper in the world. Check us out online. You will not be disappointed. All right, so what else? Well, yeah, I just want to remind you again about the upcoming Lancaster County Hemp Circuit. All right, this is going to be a tour of 4 hemp farms, all within about a half an hour of each other. This is August 20th and 21st in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. So if you can't find any details about it, send me an email and we'll give you some more details. All right, that's it for me. Thanks. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. All right. Until next time, I'll see you in the newspaper.
Industrial hemp.
This episode of the Lancaster Farming Industrial Hemp Podcast is copyright 2024 by Lancaster Farming Newspaper, part of the Steinman Communications family. Today's show is written and recorded, edited, and produced by Eric Herlock. The music you hear throughout the show is courtesy of Tinbird Shadow.